right. Good afternoon. I'm here at the CUBE Conference 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. With me today is Christian Gant from Baltimore City Schools. He's the Chief of Staff for the board. And I'm here to talk about a lot of things, Christian, and I'd like to hear your perspective on some of the things that are hot topics in your perspective as a person in your position. Clearly, the Chief of Staff has a lot of responsibilities in communications, working with the Board of Education, as well as the superintendent. Maybe you can give me some pointers as to what you've learned in your position and what works, maybe what is needing some attention or needs some improvements on, or things of that nature. So I'd love to hear your perspective on that role that you play as a liaison with the board.
I appreciate that. Really, me and my team, and it's not just me; it's the whole school board office. I consider us kind of like the glue that keep everything together, especially with our board who are volunteers. So they don't have time to, handle all these details, especially with full-time jobs. So very often the board's like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What's happening? We're there to just kind of keep it all together. Also important is just learning how to be a good thought partner with the board. Often, different boards will call me and have something on their mind. So kind of related to that, it's really important that I pay attention in meetings and know what's going on so I can kind of be informed, when we're talking.
So are you somewhat like an interpreter to some degree, because usually the board packets are very thick, right? And lots of information in there. And do they ask you to help summarize things in a easier, digestible manner that at your position might have to do that type of task?
Somewhat. If they have any kind of factual questions, we forward to the superintendent's office. We work with them. Sure. But sometimes it'll be like, all right, Christian, what's important? Like, what's important? What I got to really hone in on?
What page should I really look at?
Yeah, exactly. Just give me the 2-second version. So I don't really send out summaries per se, but they will just say, oh, what's up with this? Help me refresh that kind of question.
I'm sure that's a very valuable, aspect of as a volunteer working a day job. How do they still, get to the essence of what they want to achieve from a board perspective? And that's great to see that you are the person who's really helping to package that. So talk to me about any communications that you have with the superintendent, and or are you communicating vis-a-vis from board to the superintendent, passing those messages? And if so, what do you find that's effective?
Yeah, so my team and I, we are. So our officially, the protocol is board members aren't to go directly to staff. They go to me, and then I go to the superintendent. So, and also in the superintendents, they have a special position called the board liaison that I work with for that. But I think our internal communication is reasonably good. I know sometimes they get frustrated not getting information soon enough. It's like that might be across the board, but it's like this is too late, etc. So it's kind of maintain a balance with the superintendent's office and kind of pressing to make sure that they stuff is delivered in the course of the board's preferences. But also related to that too is just being the kind of like the liaison role. Sometimes you got to be bad cop because at the end of the day the board isn't there and they need to get stuff has to get done. So sometimes we work together. Sometimes there's tension, family tension, but it's part of the role. It's just this kind of the colleagues with the superintendent staff, but it's also like I need to get stuff done too.
So was that one of your professional goals, was to be a chief of staff for a board? How did you end up in this role? I think that's a curious thing I'd love to find out more about.
Yeah, actually, I did not. I'm actually an attorney. So I was working for a government contractor, and it was good, but it wasn't in line with kind of like my passions, like personal passions and thoughts about the world. So I kind of started looking for something. I was like, I want a job that's kind of aligned with what I care about. And a friend sent me this role, and I saw it, and I was like, okay, this is, a little step above what I do now, but I was like, I can do this. I don't quite have all, and usually, sometimes you see something you're kind of discouraged, but I was like, I don't quite have all this, but I can do this.
Well, I'm sure as an attorney, that perspective comes in handy a lot, yes.
Absolutely. Law school, when we were in law school, they were like, we don't teach you how to practice the law, we teach you how to think. it's like an analytical thinking framework, how to think critically. So I think that really comes to play. Also, too, just in my role, I'm kind of the keeper of our Open Meetings Act. So I'm the cop on the Open Meetings Act. So I have to keep them out of trouble.
Yeah, you can only have two of you together at once.
Exactly. Well, yes, yeah, exactly. And for us, it's like, okay, we can't talk about policy. Like in closed session, like that's always a fight.
Well, I mean, that's I'm sure it's an advantage to have somebody with a legal background in that role.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, to our office, we handle all the appeals and hearings for the district. I don't handle that directly. Our executive assistant does, but I kind of oversee it. So, we hire the hearing examiners. They're also attorneys. We get the opinions first, and I also have to answer questions about the case in closed session. So that's also where my education has definitely been helpful.
What about FOIAs?
FOIAs, no, the CEO's office handles FOIAs. I don't like other. Yeah, I won't. I'm good on that one.
It's always a pain, I understand.
Yeah.
Speak to me about some best practices in your position, what you see out there that the institution of education might learn from your perspective.
Well, I would say definitely attend a lot of PD. Our Maryland Association Board of Education, they do it. I've been to all of them because really, I believe I kind of see as part of my role just keeping our kind of helping to assist with culture, board culture. Is everyone getting along? Do they, understand? And in order for me to understand how a board best functions, that's why the PD is very important. So understanding that, understand that you need to be, on top of everything because, there's questions flying. And again, I was saying earlier, like paying attention, knowing what's going on, because you'll often get questions that they just need, like, hey, what's up with this? I also try to just be, like I said, in that thought partner role, kind of be encouraging. Sometimes, board members are human too. Sometimes they're not feeling it or they don't feel like they're making it.
Right?
Yeah, like I don't think this. And it's just, being able to listen and, kind of offer good feedback. I think also just trying to be innovative. Like, I've come up with some ideas myself with our meetings and other stuff.
Keep it fresh, right?
Keep it fresh. And, the board, like I also have to, we do a lot of board events that I have to kind of plan. Like they do forums. I'm working like a youth forum now. All our meetings, all of that. So bringing the stakeholders, getting the agendas together. So all that kind of planning stuff kind of falls in my lap. So
it makes sense, right? It's just good human interaction, how you encourage that to happen on a good platform.
Yes.
So speak to me about communications.
Okay.
Obviously with emails, people don't talk as much face-to-face anymore. And tell me about communications, how you see going forward, how that might continue to evolve.
Well, I would say one thing I can definitely start with one thing I learned. Again, it is the kind of liaison role, all the communication from the superintendent to the board were responsible for me. So I was kind of thinking in my role as like superintendent, like, all right, I'm going to screen this. They don't need this. And then stuff will pop up. So I've learned I just send everything. Just send it all. You can't, you cannot, there's nothing too small to send. So that's one thing. And I'll just learn like what's the most effective way. Like I have a group text with them, so and that way if there's like something that pops up like an emergency or something, I'm able to get the information quickly. The good thing is too, just thanks to my relationship with the board members, is very, they may not answer for everybody. It's very easy to get an answer. Like if I text or call, they either answer or call back. But a lot of that is just the relationship I kind of have with them.
It helps if they are willing to take your call.
That helps. That helps exactly.
Good platform to do that, right?
Yeah.
And a foundation. If the relationship's not there, you'll get a little pushback.
Yeah, exactly. But also too, I think from a district level, I think I would say in our district, communication is a hot topic. There's things the board wants to see, and it's like, why isn't this good story? Whatever. So, just kind of having that conversation, and then how is the board communicating at its meetings? So, I kind of play a role in that and help.
Are you the public relations leader?
I'm not exact. I'm not minor role. It's like, I've done a script or two for folks at events.
Well, public relations, it's all about communications at the end of the day, and anything that's communicated out to the constituents is somewhat public relations, right?
Absolutely.
Communication that's going out. So it's good to at least have your eyes on it, and you can help to maybe frame it.
Yeah, and also, I mean, related to communication, just how you communicate and interact with other people. Like I said, in my role, I talk to teachers, principals, advocates. So you really have to be able to talk to different personalities, different people, but still be able to work with them regardless.
Well, excellent. I really had a great time speaking today.
Thank you. I had a good time. I appreciate the opportunity.
Christian, appreciate your time. I'm Brian Perlmutter with Issues from Education. If you have anything you'd like to reach out to Christian, please feel free. We'll have his information on the video. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right.